Okay, Joe, it's time to start the video. Go ahead and show your face. All right, great.
Welcome to Tune Fever, baby.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is part 3 of the Battle of the Bands, and this is the third and final installment of this series. So, if you've been liking this series, be sure to drop a like on this video because it makes a lot of sense to drop a like on a video that you haven't even seen yet. So I might as well ask it at the beginning because let's be honest, there's not much chance you'll last the whole video. And also, once you've seen the video, there's even more of not a chance that you'll like this video. In addition, I'd like to add that if you have any comments about this series, be sure to drop a comment in the comment section down below, which on the mobile version is kind of in between the suggested videos and the video that you're watching, but on the computers, it's still just down on the bottom. So, yes. And also, I just wanted to mention that YouTube actually offers a subscription service. So if you'd feel free to just subscribe to this channel, then you'll get basically it just helps me. So let's go ahead and start this video.
Big YouTube money.
Yeah. So I have to get out my random number generator, and then we're going to get this thing crack-a-lackin', which I don't remember what child movie or show that's from, but it might be Madagascar.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Madagascar or something.
That penguin? No, it's not. It's Alex, the zebra.
The zebra.
Yeah.
Or the lion, or one of those. They're all kind of.
It's not Ben Stiller. It's not the lion. I think it's Chris
Rock.
Yeah,
that's who it is. Yeah.
That's our boy. At least he's my boy.
Your boy.
Yeah. Me and Chris Rock, we go way back. So we're randomizing this number generator. We have 14 bands left on our list of 50, which means 7 rounds to tackle inside of this film.
7 conversations that all the viewers will heavily disagree with.
I hope so. So let's begin. First of all, we have Guns N' Roses up against Motley Crue, which is actually probably, wow, that's actually kind of decent. Yeah.
Kind of lines up.
Yeah. I figured it'd be funny right out of the gate, but it's not this time. So between these two, I choose Guns N' Roses. How about you?
I think so too. I was thinking Guns N' Roses. I obviously know Motley Crue. Honestly, don't know a lot by them. I think because I own Appetite for Destruction on disc, and I really like it. I'm trying to think of what else I know about them. Most of what I know is on that disc, but I really like it.
That's heavy stuff on that. Yeah. On that disc. Yeah. Well, yeah, I give it to Guns N' Roses. Motley Crue, I really, really like some of their albums a lot. And it's interesting because I probably like Motley Crue's full-length albums, the ones that I enjoy, more than I like any album by Guns N' Roses. But I do think that Guns N' Roses has basically just better material overall, maybe. Gosh, actually, it kind of makes me think hard because it seemed obvious to me at first that Guns N' Roses should.
Now you're rethinking it.
Yeah, because I really, really like the Looks That Kill album, and I also really, really like the Too Fast for Love album. And Too Fast for Love is one of my favorite Motley Crue songs. Maybe my other favorite Motley Crue song being Live Wire, but it's, yeah. Anyway, but, I thought I was going to give this to Guns N' Roses.
Uh-oh.
I have to think. One thing that's kind of nice about Guns N' Roses is they have kind of a diversity of music. Like they have ballads and things too that are amazing and some of my favorite stuff. I think probably my favorite Guns N' Roses song actually is Don't Cry, a ballad.
Yeah.
You might know. And of course, November Rain is a ballad too. And they have others. But Motley Crue, they actually have that song Home Sweet Home.
Yes, yeah,
A
I
little like a
do
ballad.
really like that one.
Yeah. Okay. Um, this is crazy. Gosh,
Because the
oh
two
wow.
bands are so similar.
I don't think I've ever really put this much thought into Motley Crue. I've just always kind of,
You've been like, oh yeah, sure.
you know what?
Now it's real.
I'm gonna stick with Guns N' Roses, and I think I have a reason why. Because I like a ton of stuff by them. Although it's not albums, it's a ton of stuff. And I think that their songs and song structures are much more ambitious and interesting in general than Motley Crue's are, because it kind of is a lot of their music that I really like a lot is kind of more pop leaning. And I also like a lot of stuff from Guns N' Roses spanning most of their career, other than certain newer things. But even that's somewhat interesting, I guess. But it's not my favorite by any stretch. But Motley Crue, I don't like their whole career as much as I like Guns N' Roses' whole career. So I do think I would have more Guns N' Roses that I like better than Motley Crue. And also I think Guns N' Roses music in general is more interesting than Motley Crue's is. So I think I'll go kind of, I don't know, is it
Sounds
quality
really
over
close for you.
quantity? It really is kind of, because
Right.
they're so kind of similar, but
But yet not.
Guns N' Roses for me. Yeah. Tricky. I also think Guns N' Roses is a more important band in general.
I agree.
Because they like, just think of the influence of a guy like Slash. Huge. Almost as big as Tommy Lee's bass drum, which has got to be like a 28 or something, or a 30. Or I think he has a huge one that's like a 50. I don't know. I'm a little fuzzy. I'm gonna have to rewatch that episode of MTV Cribs.
Hey.
Yeah, I remember there is a Tommy Lee episode of MTV Cribs, and it's kind of nuts. And he just has like, I'm pretty sure he has like 10 women just walking around his house at all times.
Of course, why not?
Yeah, that's the life. So I go Guns. Do you go Guns?
I'm thinking so. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. Any more you want to say?
I guess another reason I was leaning towards them, I mean, I guess both bands are just really in your face, but something about that Appetite for Destruction, that album really, really does make me think of AC/DC, because it's just in your face the whole time. It never stops. So that's another reason I kind of gravitate toward that disc in particular.
Yeah, cool. I've heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of them too.
AC/DC. Yeah, they're all right. I think they did the Iron Man 2.
Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty cool.
I think it's probably their best album.
By far, because it was a concept album, because it was made for a movie. Okay, so the next round we have Metallica versus Aerosmith.
Oh my gosh.
Very interesting. Metallica for me.
I'm trying to think, because I'm obviously I know both bands. I don't know a ton by either band. Probably Metallica, just based off of importance, kind of like you mentioned.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't really listen to metal either. But I don't know what's Master of Puppets, that album. I like that album a lot.
Yes.
And that's another, I mean, obviously Aerosmith is good, but that in particular is another one where people look at it as a very important album.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, Master of Puppets is probably my favorite by them. I want to say probably is. Feel pretty confident about sticking with that. Gosh, yeah, Metallica. They have a lot of albums that are really good though. But yeah, probably Master of Puppets is like peak, and you still have Cliff on bass.
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning, Master of or Kill 'Em All, I should say, are all really cool. I also like a lot of the material is my mic working?
It is.
It is? Okay, it just started messing up for me. But yeah, I like a lot of the material on And Justice for All, too.
Sure.
Particularly, like, there's just, like, some songs on that are crazy to me. Like Shortest Straw and Dyer's Eve, particularly those two songs on it. But, yeah, Metallica, they just have more that I like. Aerosmith is cool. The Aerosmith has a lot that I like, too. Joe Perry, guitar player, rad.
Yeah.
Steven Tyler, rad. Biggest mouth in the game. I mean, the thing is literally the size.
Oh, him as just even just as a front man.
Yeah,
it's really cool, really fun.
Yeah, he's pretty killer singer. He's got a lot of legendary songs. Both bands are pretty important, but I think Metallica kind of is. They probably win the most important battle. That's kind of hard to compare. Because it's metal and not. But they kind of do have a crossover audience too, just like rock fans, It's those people who got into Metallica whenever they put out the Black Album. All of them are Aerosmith fans. All of them.
Oh, yeah.
So am I. I think my favorite Aerosmith song is probably Love in an Elevator. That song crazy. Yes. Going down. Sick. Right. Yeah, Metallica probably. So, do you know Aerosmith very well?
I do. What's that one song? It's the one it changes key like 18 times. I think it's called Crying.
Yeah, okay.
That one song, I really like that one.
Yeah, that probably does. I know it changes keys a lot, yeah.
But it's really, I think it's really sweet.
I like that one. I like that one like kind of yell sing that he does, because he says da 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 da, and then the one that's like da 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 da, the one he really holds. It's cool. Yeah, it's nasty.
I like their the collaboration with Run DMC. I think that's really fun.
And both of these bands have Guitar Hero games.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
They're both really cool games. And both games have a lot of their own songs, but then also songs from other bands that they like or are influences or something like that. And that I found a lot of cool music that way, kind of getting into what Aerosmith decided to put into the game and also what Metallica decided to put into their game.
Right.
You find a lot of cool music that way.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. It's how I heard of a band like Caius, or a band like Mott the Hopple, or is it Hopple? I think it's Mott the Hopple.
Hopple or Hopple or something. I know who that is.
I can think of several bands that I learned from their Guitar Hero games too. Cool. So it's a funny thing to compare. Yeah. Because I guess Guitar Hero would probably, the company or whoever made it, Activision or whatever, they probably consider that both of them are important enough bands to make a game for.
Make an entire game, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
It's cool. But yeah, so we have Metallica winning over Aerosmith, which is a little sad, but Metallica wins, yeah. So next up, we have Beastie Boys. There's not many rappers on this list.
Yeah.
And they are going to be against Beastie Boys versus Led Zeppelin. Who do you think is going to win that?
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin. They win. That's not fair, exactly. And I completely love Beastie Boys.
Oh, yeah. That's another one. I mentioned my friend Daniel getting in. So he got me into, what are the albums? License to Ill and Check Your Head. And then I went and found, or I didn't get on a disc, I listened to Paul's Boutique and really enjoyed that album. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, the two are kind of just, it's kind of unfair the Beastie Boys to just throw them under like that, but there is some good stuff. And I like all three of those albums, so.
Yeah, Daniel actually, I suggested him to get Check Your Head. So that's kind of funny.
Really?
There's a little connection here. Because Check Your Head is
I know you like that album.
It's my favorite one. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I really like, I think maybe my favorite Beastie Boys song is on that. It's called Gratitude. That's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Beastie Boys, I think yeah, I would just miss Led Zeppelin a lot more than I would Beastie Boys.
Right.
Because Led Zeppelin has so much really awesome and impactful and important music. And the other thing about Led Zeppelin is that it's awesome singing, it's awesome guitar playing, it's awesome drumming, it's awesome bass playing.
Oh yeah,
and some
it's
other
everything.
things
It's literally
here
everything.
and there. Yeah, and so I think that since they're like incredible on every front, which the Beastie Boys is not necessarily that. So I think that gives Led Zeppelin an edge, and also just the amount of material. So that's why it's Led Zeppelin for me. But seems obvious, but also Beastie Boys, I gotta show a lot of love.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's do another randomization. So we have
band review.
The Rolling Stones. Did you hear that? The Rolling Stones.
Yes, Rolling Stones.
Up against The Who. It's Rolling Stones. That's my vote.
Trying to think of. Yeah, both are close for me, okay. But I'd say I probably know more. Well, not just because I know more by Rolling Stones, but I think Rolling Stones is a little easier to get into for me. I think. I think my favorite albums are, well, obviously Sticky Fingers, and then that one with the cake on it.
Let It Bleed.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Really like both of those albums.
Sure.
And The Who, I really got into Who's Next. I like that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, something about the Rolling Stones is just really nice. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's another one my parents got me into, but even so, I've really gotten into them more a lot recently, which is probably what gives them the edge for me.
Cool. Yeah, for me it's Rolling Stones too. My favorite album is Sticky Fingers. And yeah, Rolling Stones has a lot of really excellent albums, and I'm not really a Who fan or the Who fan. I like some of their stuff, but I also really don't like some of their other stuff. And also, I'm a drummer, and I don't really care that much about Keith Moon. Got to be straight up honest. That's kind of weird, probably, because a lot of drummers think Keith Moon is extremely important. I kind of like him, I'm just not super into Keith Moon, I guess. And so that kind of is, I don't know. Like when I listen to Keith Moon, he has his moments, but even the moments, they're not like super interesting to me. Other than, I guess, like the drum solo on Won't Get Fooled Again. I definitely remember learning that in 7th grade and thinking, this is the craziest thing I've ever learned. And it's still crazy. And okay, I say learning in 7th grade, probably not quite, you know what I mean? I could, that was a long time ago and I was just getting started with drums, but I probably basically learned it, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But I remember that. That's a very cool drum.
That is cool.
Yeah. The Who's good. I guess I just don't like that much of their stuff. Sure. But the stuff that I like by The Who is great. It's really, really good. Rolling Stones just has more. That's great.
Sure. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. That's kind of the Rolling Stones probably has to win that. So we give it to them. Next round, Radiohead. We're finally here. Versus themselves. No. versus no. Hold on a sec. Oh. Rolling Stones. Wait, Radiohead versus Rush.
Ooh.
This might be the worst round. Yeah, this
Everyone
episode.
could take a look at the shirt you're wearing right now.
Yep, I have my Rush shirt on.
I don't know where Tyler gave me a Radiohead shirt recently. I don't know where it is, but I.
Yep. Yeah, it was one of those too small for me. Yeah. Because I used to be a size large, but now I've gotten fatter. Not really. I've just gotten taller. Yeah. So it's extremely tricky. Obviously, completely uncomparable. Also,
as it should be.
Yeah, and it's the thing about. Rush is a band that lasted probably something like 50 years or something. I don't really.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I know they only recently ended because Neil Peart did decide to retire finally, which, time, you kind of been waiting, Every single member of Rush, I mean, it's just a trio, but they all are consistently amazing. Just amazing. And also just the way Rush works is so interesting. You have Geddy Lee playing bass and then also singing and then also doing all the key stuff, the keyboards and synths.
Wait, sorry, really quick. Can you hear the TV downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay, let me shut my door. All right, gamers.
It actually helped a lot. Cool.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, I just realized my door is open. Continue.
Yeah. So I was gonna say. Yes. So how Rush works is interesting to me because you have Geddy doing all that stuff, bass, synths, vocals, and then you have the drummer who plays drums, and then he also plays all the other percussive things, certain cowbell or woodblock parts, and then also some like marimba type stuff and other percussive things, And he has, of course, the 360 drum set, which is very interesting and, it's great, basically. And then also he writes all the lyrics, which is pretty dang cool. And then you have Alex Lifeson, who plays guitar really, really greatly. And then there's certain things in the Rush discography which are kind of all about the guitar, like 2112 or something. And so, but just the story of it, all about guitar. There's a lot of concept there that I think is amazing. And Rush also has different phases of their career. I mean, we could sit here and geek out about,
oh my gosh,
like right now Rush, but I think next probably Radiohead, because you could geek out just about as much on Radiohead as you can on Rush. But yeah, they both have, Rush, they have all these bands. Phases. Yeah, absolutely, nerd bands, both. But then also Radiohead's kind of cooler to like, probably.
It's true.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, it's like Radiohead is kind of the internet hipster thing to like, but also you can get really nerdy about it, and that kind of makes you seem like an internet hipster. But, genuinely, I think you can get really nerdy about it with Radiohead. Of course, Rush does a total different kind of music than Radiohead does. But yeah, and both of their careers kind of have these phases, and both bands have such kind of incredibly iconic members. And I suppose that's not quite as true for Radiohead as it is for Rush, because all three of them are total icons. But for Radiohead, at least Tom York is an absolute icon. And then, you could say certain things about Johnny or Phil on the drums, Phil Selway. You could say certain things about them too. But
I hate to cancel either band. I mean,
this is really doing the world a disservice. Man. maybe this part should even be a whole separate video.
We could make an entire video.
Yeah,
nerding about both of these.
Yeah, but that's just the worst. Oh man. So
only complete freaks like us would watch that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have to pick oh, wait a second. I just thought of something.
Uh-oh.
On Radiohead's latest album, on their latest disc, they put out a song called Desert Island Disc.
Desert Island Disc.
And basically the point of Desert Island Disc is like, if you were to go away to a deserted island, what, would you bring? And Radiohead covered that topic.
Oh, you're right.
I'm not sure Rush did. Rush was too busy doing medieval things and working around and being nerds. I'm insulting them as I'm repping them. I will say Radiohead. And I will say Radiohead because I at least like almost everything by them. But most of their stuff, I guess you could say like their third album and beyond, I basically love all of that stuff. Well, I don't really love King of Limbs, but there's stuff about it I love and stuff on it that I love, but I don't love the album. So I guess with the exception of like albums 1, 2, and King of Limbs, maybe that's number 9, I think. I can't really remember.
I think it's like 8 or 9.
Yeah. I mean, I love Radiohead. So I think I have to give it to them because Rush, I listen to a lot of their stuff. But I think I actually probably really love probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 of their albums, and Radiohead has more albums
that you love
that I really love. And I think I can say that pretty confidently without just like looking at a list of both discographies. I think I know them well enough that I can say that for sure. So I have to give this to Radiohead.
Sure.
Also, Radiohead is kind of, they seem more like they experiment more. Rush kind of sticks to their thing, and they do a lot. It's kind of the difference between prog and experimenting, because sure, you could call prog experimenting, but it all sounds like prog. Experimenting, or experimental music that Radiohead tries to do, you don't really know what you're getting into. So, but I would say they're both experimental, but Radiohead's not experimental in a prog sense.
Right.
Radiohead does things with horns sometimes. They do things that kind of can sound like hip hop sometimes. They get really, really mellow and emotional sometimes. And also, it's interesting to bring up, Geddy Lee's voice is incredibly iconic, and also Tom York's voice is incredibly iconic. And to have basically a good lead voice to lead the entire band, you could be a good band with just a really, really good vocalist. There's plenty of artists who went solo, like your Elvis Presley or something. It's just all the voice. That's what people really care about. Sure, there's other stuff. But Rush and Radiohead both have so much more than just the great voice. So, but I don't want to get rid of Rush, but I'm going to. I will stick with my pick of Radiohead, and then I will pass the talking thing to you. So here you go.
So yeah, I know the whole Radiohead discography. I don't know every single album by Rush. I feel like I should, but I know all the classics, obviously, 2112, Moving Pictures, Permanent Waves, and then I know their newest, which I know all the albums they did in the 70s and early 80s, and then actually their newest album, which is in like 2012, I think. But I think I want to go with Rush just because for all three of them to be the absolute best is what they do. Even Alex Lifeson, who I think is phenomenal, but I think he gets overshadowed simply because he's in a band with Geddy Lee and Neil Peart.
Yep.
But I don't, and also something that's the band that got me into wanting to learn how to play bass, which could be a bad thing, honestly.
Yeah, you own a Geddy Lee bass.
Oh, I do. Yes. Not this one. It's my other one.
Yeah.
This was my first bass, the Fender, the Squire. So like, why would I devote my life to something stupid? But anyway, like, you know, I just really love everything about them.
Yeah.
Even like the album Farewell to Kings is one I don't like as much as a complete album because it's so medieval and just go way over the top. But there is stuff on that album that I still love. I like everything they did. Well, I guess not everything because I don't know everything, but what I do, like moving into the synth era, like Moving Pictures and Signals and some of those. Trying to think what else. Hemispheres. Fly By Night was actually one. It's not one of their best albums, but it's one I picked up when I was in like junior high and really never put down.
Yeah,
I
really like
disc.
that one. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
I think that was actually the first one or one of the first ones with when they brought Neil Peart on, and it's just super fun.
Yeah.
By Tour and the Snow Dog and some of those.
Oh, yeah.
I think the 2112. The song, or like the side A, because it's all one song and it's like 20 minutes, I think is one of the best A sides or sides A to a record like ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything, gosh, I love. But obviously, I mean, there is stuff by Radiohead I love. You know, In Rainbows, Hail to the Thief. You know, everything on In Rainbows I think is just awesome. Yeah. Those two I kind of go back and forth on as my favorite album. I've been listening to In Rainbows a lot recently just because it's just, you can listen to it whenever and it's just awesome.
True.
I've been really digging into Kid A more. That's one. It seems like I used to actually just not like it, but the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So
yeah.
But Radiohead's got some awesome stuff as well. So they're really, I don't know. I think I still want to go with Rush, but both bands are just. And also, I'm really glad I did get like turn around because I used to not like some of what Radiohead did, like Kid A and stuff, but just because it's the experimental factor, just how weird it is. But I eventually came around. And I do really like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I have some of their discs. I think I have more Rush discs. I don't actually know what I have.
I don't know either. I kind of,
I want to go back and look.
I'm looking up at my Rush section, and then I'm looking over at my Radiohead section, and
trying to think what my favorite Rush album is. Probably Permanent Waves, just because of how, like, I talked about Farewell to Kings being over the top, being conceptual, and Permanent Waves kind of does that. But I think I guess in the way Hail to the Thief, in that everything on the album I think just works. I think it's just really well done, and it's got every little bit of everything good about Rush. But that one and Moving Pictures are probably my two favorite albums. I don't know.
Cool. I think
yeah,
if I had to pick favorites for Rush, it's probably Hemispheres and Signals, because you kind of have to, like, they're kind of separate, you know. Hemispheres more in that rock stuff they did early on, that prog, and then Signals is when they were really heavy synth and everything. So
right.
I'm gonna choose those two, but yeah.
Sure, and Signals is awesome, and for them to make a synth album and for it to be like, because like you look at some bands like Yes and Genesis, and when they made music in the 80s, like I think some of that's still good, but it wasn't as good as what they did earlier on, like the prog stuff. But Rush, I really like the Signals album. I think it's super interesting, just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well,
gosh, I really like both bands.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna start. This will be our second to last round. We have 2 more rounds to do. Let's see. Green Day is next, and they are up against. Well, still waiting. I guess I could just do this differently.
Pick a number between
But I feel
1 and 3.
I should do that. I'll do like the 1 and 3 thing. Yeah, hold on, because I want it to be absolutely random.
Hey Siri. Or okay Google.
Okay, hold on. Okay Siri. See, it's like okay Google, but I said okay Siri.
Hey.
So Siri, can you give me a number between 1 and 3?
Okay Siri. See, it's like okay Google, but I said okay Siri. Wait, I can't read the number. Is it 1?
1. So that's Black Sabbath. Green Day versus Black Sabbath. What the heck? Okay, this is crazy.
What are we doing?
I'll just start right off and say that Green Day has more music that I like than Black Sabbath. But I feel a lot more attached to the music that Black Sabbath makes than I feel attached to the music that Green Day makes. But Green Day just has a lot of good music. But Black Sabbath, the stuff that I like by them, I think several albums. And they have kind of a cool career to follow. And some of it's not that cool, but a lot of the Black Sabbath career is great. So I'm still going to choose Black Sabbath. Even though Green Day technically has more music that I like, I think Black Sabbath matters to me more. So if I could only pick one, I would choose Black Sabbath. What about you?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I feel like Sabbath is by far a more important band, but I feel like I have to go with Green Day. Kind of like, I guess comparing to you with Blink-182.
Yeah.
That's really you getting into music for one of the first times, or but
which
Green
we
Day,
talked about in which episode did we talk about them in? It was
that number 1?
It was number 1.
Blink versus Beatles, I think is what it was.
Yeah, Blink-182 versus this is that's a lot like what this is.
This is basically that.
Yep.
Right. So obviously everything Black Sabbath did is kind of not comparing them to the Beatles, because that's obviously way different. But again, them being like the most important thing to music. Obviously Ozzy Osbourne and literally everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I want to go with Green Day just because I guess maybe same reason I'm with Rush, just because that's something I've always been super interested in. Always really like. I think Dookie is one of the greatest albums of all time by far. I love every single song.
Yep.
And when I was a kid, American Idiot was like my most favorite album ever, like of any album. And I don't like it that like I don't absolutely love it like I used to, but I still think it's a really good album. I still really like ones like Nimrod, I think is the other one that I really like. I might put that above American Idiot. I really like that one. But I don't know. Mike Dirnt as a bass player, I think is just super underrated. I really like. Actually, that's one. Listening to him play is what helped teach me how to learn how to play with a pick, I guess.
Sure.
Because like when you start learning bass, you just learn with fingers, which is fine because that is how I play bass most of the time. But listening to him play on a lot of the older stuff, a lot of what they did in the 90s is really good, super fun. I can't say the same thing for what they've done recently.
Yeah.
In the past decade, but their album, the Revolution Radio one, which is from 2016, is one I actually do. I really, really like that album. It's another. I think every song is great, or most every song. But obviously, I go back to even ones like Insomniac and Warning, and some of those I think are a little harder to get into. They're different, especially Warning. And Insomniac is just like a lot angrier.
Yeah,
but
Insomniac's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's if I'm in the right mood for that one, I really, really like it. But gosh, that's another I could nerd out about them for all day. But
sure.
And also just because of how long I've listened to them. But if we're looking for like what band influenced history, the I guess most important band is obviously it's kind of like Jimi Hendrix. Like I would have to go with Sabbath over, well, I don't know, over most things. But for me personally, I'd probably go with Green Day just because it's as a learning how to play bass and stuff like that. I think.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That is very cool. Yeah, there's that attachment to it for sure. Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you with the attachment to Sabbath,
sure,
is also very, very cool.
I did listen to them for a long time. My dad actually has it's like compilation called "We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll," a Black Sabbath compilation, and so I did listen to it some growing up, and then of course I did hear it on Guitar Hero and stuff. There was War Pigs on Guitar Hero too. I remember distinctly. And I always loved Guitar Hero. So, whenever I was real young, I always wanted to play guitar. So Guitar Hero was awesome.
Does Black Sabbath have their own Guitar Hero game?
No.
Because I feel like they should.
Yeah. Yeah, probably should. Oh, yeah. Well, cool. So the next round is the final round.
Final round.
So the bands are Linkin Park versus Sonic Youth. Another just total.
Yeah, because why not?
We're not exactly getting a grand ending here. So yeah, maybe ending on Rush and Radiohead would have been better, but that's not the way that
you could just
things shaped out.
You could just edit the video and take the Rush Radiohead clip and put it at the end.
I sure could. I won't though. I won't. So I choose between Linkin Park and Sonic Youth. I choose Sonic Youth.
Me too. I would think.
I
was gonna say.
Yeah, Linkin Park is good. Some of the stuff I love. I would say that they do have albums, plural. Yep, they have more than one album that I love. They have two. Hybrid Theory, also Meteora. I love them both. Then they have a lot of other stuff that's really cool too. But to me, not necessarily albums, but for Sonic Youth, I really, really, really like Sonic Youth a lot. Man. And for Sonic Youth, I listen to different stuff when I'm in different moods. I'll listen, I don't know, anytime I'm trying to get I remember, you know what? I used to really like to listen to the album called Rather Ripped. Anytime I wanted to get stoked to go skate or something. So that is when I listen to that, it takes me back to that set of memories. But I don't know. They have so many albums that I really, really think are cool. So it's, I don't know. Maybe I need to think more seriously about Sonic Youth because I don't know what the heck my favorite is of theirs at all. But I would say maybe Rather Ripped definitely has a real kind of it's kind of nostalgia or something for younger days or whatever. But of course I love a lot of their stuff. And Sonic Youth over the course of the years has, kind of introduced me to the concept of being shocked by what I'm listening to. Just completely, what the heck is that creative thing I'm hearing right there? And just being completely stoked by it. And Sonic Youth, I've been listening to them quite a long time. Really like them. Really, really like them. One of the greatest. So got to give that to them. What do you think?
Sonic Youth. So there's actually not a lot I know by them, which is sad because what I know is really, 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 really awesome, I think.
You know some really albums, don't you?
The albums I know are Daydream Nation and Goo, which were in the late 80s, early 90s. And I own discs for both of those.
I would say even if it was just those two, I would still give it to Sonic Youth.
Sure.
if that's all they ever released. But they released more. So it makes sense. But yeah, go ahead.
But, well, yeah, those are the two. I love both of them. And I have this, like, at some point I just want to, I don't know if I'll go through all of them, but find like at least several more to just really dig into, even if I don't buy, just to listen to. Because basically, what I love by them, what I own. And so, and there's a lot of noise. There are moments on Goo. I don't remember the song, but it was like
Mildred Pierce.
Okay, yeah, and then it's literally just the song ends, and you're just like exploding. And I'm listening to my car. I'm like, what is this? But I really, really, I felt attached to it.
I remember the first time I heard that
crazy.
song. Oh yeah.
Yeah, both of those are great. I want to hear more. What else do you own by them? If you're okay with looking at your shelf there, because I know you own at least I was sure you own like a few more.
Yeah, I do. I don't know how to look without unplugging my whole system though.
Oh no, it's fine. I don't want to make you do that, but
yeah. Okay.
Next time I see you, I'll download some of those discs.
Yeah, I own some more. I can see Dirty up there. I can see Dirty.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, there's more to get. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. I can't really tell what else is right there.
Oh no, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But that's very cool.
Yeah. There's some others. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we've chosen Sonic Youth. So the Battle of the Bands for this list of 50 is completed. Be sure to let us know what you think. Be sure to take advantage of YouTube's subscription service that they offer. Also, be sure to hit that notification bell. And I mean that with sincerity. And if you do those things, thanks. Okay. The video is probably over.
Yeah.